Welcome back. In this video, we are going to discuss about our second lab program. See, these lab programs, step by step, we are going to increase the complexity of the program. So, the better practice is try to understand how we are writing the logic and try to type the code on your own, at least in the initial stages. That helps you a lot in understanding what kind of mistakes you are going to get, how to solve those mistakes, all those things you are going to understand. Now coming to the second lab session, see, this is the question. We need to take three inputs from the user, and among those three inputs we need to identify which one is the maximum number. See, always in our first lab session we discussed that always first step you have to do in the program is what's the input you need to take. After that, try to build the logic. After that, in which way you have to display the output. These are the things you need to consider. So what's the input we need to take from the user in this program? How many inputs you have to take? Three inputs from the users. That's why we are defining three variables. The variable names are num1, num2 and num3. You have to take these values from the keyboard. So that's why we are using a input function. Input will take the input from the keyboard and it is going to be assigned to the variable num1. Similarly, input is going to take the value from the keyboard and assigned to the variable num2. If you want to consider only integer inputs, the input is going to get in string format. That string format has to be converted into integer format. So that we are going to use int function. Like that we have taken three inputs from the user. Now we need to build the logic. In order to build the logic, there are multiple ways. We are going to consider two ways here. The first way is by using if, else conditional statement, if, if ladder statement. This is one of the way we can write this logic. Let's try to understand how we can write this logic. See, if num1 is greater than num2, if num1 is greater than num3, if both the conditions are met, definitely you can say that number 1 is greater 1, maximum 1. So that's the statement we have written here. If num1 greater than or equal to num2, if this condition is true, and logical and means num1 greater than or equal to 3. If both the conditions are true, then only this entire condition returns true. If these both conditions are true, definitely you can say that num1 is the maximum number. So that's why in the body of this if statement we have written maximum. Take a variable called maximum, assign that num1 to the maximum value. If this condition is true, then this body of this statement, if statement, is going to be executed. So maximum contains the number 1. So you need to understand this hash. Check if num1 is greater than or equal to both other numbers. This is not coding, this is comment. So we write comments in order to understand the program. What logic we have written here. If you mention it like this, whoever study this program, they can easily understand the logic, what logic you have written here. For that, we are going to write comments. Comments are not going to be executed. This is the point you need to understand. Comments will not execute. Remaining program is going to be executed. So once this if condition is true, the body of this if is going to be executed and remaining conditions it is not going to check. This is how if else if ladder is going to be executed. Directly the execution jumps to display statement. The next statement is print statement. Suppose if this first condition is false, means number 1 is not maximum. Then check the second condition, if else if num2 greater than num1 and num2 greater than or equal to num3, then definitely you can say that number 2 is maximum number. That's why number 2 is assigned to maximum variable. So now maximum variable contains number 2. If both the conditions, if, else if, both are false, then else is going to be executed. So if number 1 is not greater, number 2 is not greater, then definitely you can say that number 3 is greater. That's why in the else statement, the body of the else statement contains number 3 is assigned to maximum variable. By the time it completes, the coding completes its if else statement, maximum variable contains the maximum number. So that's why in output you need to display the maximum variable. That's why we have written here print the numbers are num1, num2, num3 and f the maximum number is maximum variable we are going to display. If you want to display variables, we need to use this curly braces, and before that we have to write f formatted output. These discussions made in our first lab program. So this is one of the way we can identify maximum number from the given 3 numbers. There are other ways also. Coming to the second possibility. Now let's try to execute this first. See, when you execute this, it is going to ask enter the first number 3, enter the second number 5, enter the third number 1. See, out of these 3, which one is the maximum? 5 is the maximum. That's the output we got. Now coming to the second way we can do this, we are not going to explain the logic here. We will give you an intuition how to write, in which way you have to write. Try to write the logic on your own. Whatever the time it takes, you need to spend the time here. This is where your coding skills are going to develop. So using nested if statements, you can write this logic. In the previous code, we have written the code logic based on if else ladder, but we can do it using nested if statements. So this is the code. Don't try to evaluate the code and understand the code. You take a pen and paper and write the logic, execute the code. If still you got mistakes, then try to analyze the code, the given code. So this is the second code. Hope you got good clarity on how to write coding. If you have any questions regarding the concept, please post your questions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon for the latest updates. Thank you.